Karen Stoke Dance. Karen is the head of the dance program in the School of Theater and Dance in the College of the Arts, and an award-winning choreographer and distinguished dancer. So thank you very much to them. In addition, all four dancers and the music composer are UH alumni. So if you give them a round of applause. Welcome to the ribbon cutting showcase for the DHS Borders, Trade, and Immigration Institute. We're very excited to have arrived at this day. UH has the honor of leading this DHS Center of Excellence, which includes our researchers, 10 universities, and 1 company, all engaged in multiple collaborations and projects, which you'll have the opportunity to hear more about as the day goes on. Our multidisciplinary team spans national and international experts that deliver technology-based solutions, data-informed policies, workforce development, and training opportunities in a mission-based research endeavor that addresses today's very complex issues. It's my honor to recognize a number of dignitaries in attendance and to thank everyone here for their enthusiastic support. I would like to take the opportunity to recognize a few of these individuals and note that speakers will be introduced as part of the program and also by our director as he takes the stage.
So again, thank you for taking the time to share this significant day with us. As I call your name, if you would just mind just standing just briefly. The Honorable Oscar Rodriguez Cabrera, Consul General of Mexico. The Honorable Carlos Pacheco Murillo, the Consul General of Costa Rica. The Honorable Oscar Solis Flores, Consul of Mexico. Sahali Martinez, representing Bobby Guerrera, representative. And special thanks to Welcome Wilson Sr., our former chair of the Board of Regents for the University of Houston. There are a number of federal officials here in attendance, including Eric Schoberg. He's the acting director of field operations for the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. John Boyd, Assistant Director for the Office of Biometric Identity Management for the DHS. William Russell, Assistant Director for Field Operations Mission Support for U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Charles Perez, Area Port Director of Houston for Houston Airports. And there's also a large number of state and local government law enforcement leaders here with us today, as well as members of our colleagues in higher education community and interested parties from nonprofit and private sectors. We greatly appreciate all your support. So now, this can't go on without recognizing our deans who have been instrumental in this effort. If you all would stand, please. Thank you very much for all your support. With us today, there are a number of UH faculty, researchers, administrators. Everyone's critical to the mission and the success of BTI. And finally, I thank all the individuals who have supported our proposal, our work, and continue to work with us closely. At this time, I'd like to invite Ivan Sanchez from Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee's office, who will be presenting a certificate. He is the Congressional Liaison Field Representative for the Congresswoman.
Good day, Cougs. My name is Ivan Sanchez. I am a field representative for Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. More specific, I am the immigration liaison and international council relations for her for the past 4 years. So having said that, I'm very, very interested in what will be talked about today, so I can learn a little bit more about the program so we can be all more efficient. I see problems on a daily basis at my job, and I really commend Dr. Kakadaris for his effort and UH, so thank you so very much. The Congresswoman sent me here to present this certificate of congressional recognition for the program and for Dr. Kakadaris. It reads, I'm not going to read it in its entirety. Dr. Kakadaris, please. This certificate of congressional recognition on behalf of the 18th District of Texas presented to the University of Houston and Dr. Kakadaris on the occasion of the ribbon-cutting ceremony. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on behalf of the constituents of the 18th Congressional District of Texas, I take great pride in recognizing the University of Houston Borders, Trade, and Immigration Institute and Dr. Kakadaris on the occasion of their VIP luncheon, Borders, Trade, and Immigration Institute ribbon-cutting ceremony. I would like to honor and thank you so very much for your outstanding contributions to the Houston area and our country. Your commitment and service to the Houston community are most deserving of the respect, admiration, and commendation of the United States Congress. Signed, Member of Congress March 27th, 2017, Sheila Jackson Lee. Congratulations.
At this time, it's my privilege to introduce Michael Johnson, who will be representing our president, President Renu Khator. President Khator has been unflinching in her support of this center throughout the entire process, including at the time when we had written the proposal, submitted it, found out we had a site visit. And as many of you know, legislative sessions in Texas are pretty demanding. President Khator actually arranged during the site visit to join us by Skype, and I have vivid memories of her walking around with her phone, by Skype, trying to find just the best place to have the greatest connectedness, if you will, so that she could answer all the site visitors' questions. So, a debt of gratitude to her, and with this I introduce Michael Johnson.
Thank you. On behalf of our Chancellor and President, I'm pleased to see the establishment of the Department of Homeland Security's Center of Excellence at the University of Houston. The intent of the Department of Homeland Security in establishing such centers of excellence was to engage the very best scientific minds to conduct and apply groundbreaking research to current and anticipated challenges in our nation's security. Our university and our partner universities are ideally positioned to lead this effort and ensure the success of this endeavor. As educators, our institute will take the lead to help train the next generation of Homeland Security experts. As researchers, our institute is developing innovative and multidisciplinary, customer-driven Homeland Security science and technology solutions. And as problem solvers, our institute is working closely with the boots on the ground at all levels of federal, state, territorial, tribal, and local agencies to stay abreast of current problems, discern rising concerns, and to develop innovative tools and solutions to address real-world issues. And then finally, as collaborators, we work in concert with the Center of Excellence in a spirit of collaboration to conduct research and develop critical technologies that enhance our nation's homeland security. The magnitude of this effort is profound. The Borders, Trade, and Immigration Institute will work with government agencies to address concerns along some 7,500 miles of border, 95,000 miles of shoreline, and over 500 airports in an effort to address security, immigration issues, facilitate legitimate trade and travel. It's my honor to note that the University of Houston was awarded the BTI Institute Center of Excellence by the Department of Homeland Security's Science and Technology Directorate as a result of a competitive process, and DHS designated the University of Houston as the lead institute based on the strength of the proposal that it submitted. I'd like to recognize all of our partners in academic institutions: Middlebury Institute of International Studies, Rutgers University, Texas A&M International University, Texas A&M Transportation Institute, University of Arizona, University of Minnesota, the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, the University of Texas at El Paso, West Virginia University, and Vordaer International. I'm proud of the research currently underway at BTI Institute, its unlimited potential, and the excitement it has generated. I have no doubt that BTI Institute will have an extraordinary impact in enhancing our nation's security and promote its economic development. Thank you.
I'd like to now invite Dr. Jonas Kakadirias, who is the director of BTI and the Hugh Roy and Lily Krantz Cullen Distinguished University Professor of Computer Science.
Dr. Krishnamurti, Dr. Clark, Honorable Consul General of Costa Rica, Honorable Consul General of Mexico, distinguished speakers and guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's a real pleasure to be here with you today to share our vision for the Borders, Trade, and Immigration Institute, a research institute for our time. What I would like to accomplish in the next 5 minutes is to answer 4 questions for you. What we do, who we are, what we do, why we do what we do, and how we do it. So let's start with who we are. It all started back in September of 2014, when the Department of Homeland Security issued a call for proposals for a center of excellence in the area of borders, trade, and immigration. As you heard in the President's remarks, the Centers of Excellence is basically a network of research centers that DHS has established in order to tap into the intellectual power of our nation's universities and leverage the best minds in science and in policy to address pressing homeland security needs. Under the leadership of Dr. Marianne Oettinger, University of Houston put a team together of outstanding faculty from 8 universities and 2 existing research centers in order to submit a proposal. I want to ask the representatives of these units to stand and be recognized. So the deans, one more time, please. Thank you very much. We were very happy that our proposal found support not only in the city of Houston, not only in the state of Texas, but also outside of the state. So I want to offer my heartfelt thanks to these organizations for their strong support at the time of our application, for continued engagement, and their ongoing willingness to share their time and their talent. So I want to ask the representatives of those organizations that are here with us today to stand and be recognized. If you could please stand. Thank you very much. So actually the award was made in 2015, and the first projects began in 2016. And we're extremely happy and fortunate to have here Chief Bristow, who is the Federal Coordinating Committee member for our institute. Chief, if I can ask you to stand and please be recognized. Chief Bristow has offered his unwavering support, advice, and mentorship at every step of the way. So I'm personally thankful to him. So some of you may ask, why have a ribbon-cutting ceremony 14 months after the award? Well, the answer is that we wanted to share with you not only what we are planning to do, but also what we have done to date. So you can see that we have a growing team, 10 universities, 1 industry, and these partners come from 7 different states. But the important point that I would like to make is that the team right now, each current partner brings unique expertise, but will continue to grow beyond our current partners. As new homeland security needs emerge in the areas of borders, trade, and immigration, it's my charge as a director and my personal commitment to find the best teams to address the capability and knowledge gaps through cutting-edge research. I will fulfill this commitment by reaching out to universities and companies across the country. And obviously, I'm not alone in this effort. So in this slide, you can see that the leadership team includes faculty and staff that work tirelessly to ensure that the projects have both scientific impact, but also facilitate accomplishing the mission of the customers. So I want to ask all the members of the leadership team and all the performers that are here with us today to stand and be recognized, if you please. So this is who we are. The people that stood right now, it's the PTI Institute. Thank you. So let's move now to what we do. Well, the mission is in our name. Specifically, first and foremost, We are a research center charged with producing mission-driven, actionable research in the areas of borders, trade, and immigration. And we are charged producing research that will allow us to strengthen our homeland security while at the same time facilitating legitimate trade and travel. We heard in the President's remarks how we accomplish that by developing technology-driven solutions, data-informed policies, workforce development, and education. But we work with our partners. We work with our partners at all levels, the highest levels of the government, and also the people that are in the front lines that address the issues of borders, trade, and immigration. We work with our partners in private enterprises, civil society, and basically everyone who has a skin in the game, everyone who is get affected by our research. I think it's important for me to repeat that a very critical point. For us, security and facilitation are two sides of the same coin. You cannot have security without facilitation, and you cannot have facilitation without security. Science has the potential to allow us to achieve this delicate balance. At the same time, you cannot have policy and technology as two separate things. Again, they are two sides of the same coin. The policy needs to be driven by data analysis. The impact of these policies needs to be assessed through simulations and through a systems approach. On the other hand, often we have technological advancements, rapid technological advancements, where the policy is lacking. So what we want to do is integrate the technology with the human. We want to bring policy and technology together. As the President mentioned, we are educators, researchers, collaborators, but most importantly, we are problem solvers. Specifically, we are focusing on 4 areas. First area has to do with transnational flows of people, both from the policy and technology standpoint, transnational flows of goods, transnational flows of data and capital, and education and workforce development. Let me tell you now why we do what we do. We are engaged in research and development, and we provide transdisciplinary education. Our goal is to enhance our nation's ability to secure its borders and ultimately lead to social, cultural, and economic development. Along with a center of this magnitude comes a lot of responsibility. We are a multi-sided entity. So my first promise is to the American taxpayer, who is basically paying for the research that is taking place at this center. So our promise is to bring added value to secure and facilitating transnational flows and ultimately leading to social and economic development. Our promise to the Office of University Programs, who is the administrator of the grant, is to affect technology and policy transfer from the universities to the components. Our commitment to the components is that we'll connect them with the bright minds that we find in the universities in order to help them in their mission, and we are there, stand ready to help them with their workforce development needs. Our commitment to the researchers in the room is that we can offer exciting research opportunities where your research will have impact and help our nation's homeland security. And for our students in the room, we want to see you excited about the opportunities of public service. Let's see how we accomplish what we accomplish. Every decision that we make is guided by 6 principles: excellence, impact, integrity, leadership, respect, and teamwork. I think these concepts are self-explanatory, but I want to hone into the issue of excellence. Borders, trade, and immigration are definitely timely topics of discussion. In my opinion, universities are perhaps the best places to engage in intellectual discourse, brainstorming of ideas, developing the research that is needed to have fieldable solutions, debate the merits of these solutions, and then go back to the drawing board when it's needed. If you look at both sides of this room, later on after the ribbon cutting ceremony, you'll find researchers ready to explain to you what is the research problem that they are working on, why is it important, and what they have accomplished that far. So if you're a student, I invite you to peruse all the posters and find out what kind of problems you can work on. If you are faculty, we want to learn from you how your research fits with your center and how it can help address current capability gaps. If you represent an agency or a company, we want to know what keeps you up at night. So all of us at BTI are looking forward to collaborating with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will have a video from Dr. Robert Griffin, who is the Acting Undersecretary for DHS Science and Technology Directorate. I think.
Good afternoon. I'm Bob Griffin, Acting Undersecretary for the Science and Technology Directorate for the Department of Homeland Security. I regret that I can't be with you in person in Houston today, but I do want to note how happy we are to have the Borders, Trade, and Immigration Institute in our network of university-based centers of excellence. It took a great deal of hard work to bring us to where we are today, and this is an exciting time for the Institute. The BTI Institute is an important COE for the department because it focuses on key areas that are at the core of our mission: preventing terrorism and enhancing security, securing and managing our borders, and enforcing and administering our immigration laws. My vision is that the Institute will help us solve some of the most pressing border security and immigration challenges we face as a nation, and to develop much-needed new capabilities for operators at Customs and Border Protection, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and state, local, and tribal law enforcement agencies. The jobs of operators will always be difficult as they protect our communities and nation every day. That's why the department looks forward to sharing our experience with border and immigration operations with you, and in turn, drawing on your expertise in relevant fields and technologies. This will help BTI develop research and education opportunities to equip and prepare the next generation of Homeland Security practitioners. I am pleased for this opportunity to celebrate the establishment of the BTI Institute. I especially want to recognize the tireless work of Director Kaki-Diaris. He has helped generate connections that strengthen individual centers of excellence and the network as a whole. And I want to thank each of you for the expertise and commitment you bring to help us find solutions to secure our borders, facilitate the flow of trade and travel, and ensure the integrity of our immigration system. Thank you all.
Next, Dr. Matthew Clark was not able to be here. He's the Director of University Programs for the Science and Technology Directorate of the Department of Homeland Security. But I'd like to read you a letter that he sent this morning. Good afternoon. I'm Matthew Clark, Director of DHS's Science and Technology Office of University Programs. Our office manages the Centers of Excellence program. We're excited to welcome BTI to the family of DHS centers. The Centers of Excellence develop customer-driven Homeland Security research and development and train the next generation of Homeland Security technical experts. DHS draws on the considerable expertise of American universities through the centers to help solve our toughest Homeland Security challenges. Being a center of excellence is no easy task. The centers must ensure their research is relevant to DHS operations. This is only possible by developing close working relationships with DHS components and their partners such as Customs, Border Protection, Immigration, and Customs Enforcement, and state, local, and tribal agencies. BTI's director, Dr. Jonas Kakadirias, has already shown a willingness to collaborate with DHS component agencies and other centers to pursue this requirement. He and his team understand the importance of ensuring their research is useful to DHS operations. Dr. Kakadirias' ability to communicate with the Office of University Program Manager for this center, Theo Gamalis, has been key to BTI's growth and development. I expect this communication will continue to be frequent and open. I'm sorry that I couldn't be with all of you in Houston today. I'm grateful for everything BTI and its supporters have already done and will do in the future to ensure the center's success. So with that, I'd like to move on to invite Ms. Cynthia Wittenberg to give some comments. She is the Deputy Executive Assistant Commissioner for the Office of Trade of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Ottinger, Director Kakadirias, deans, faculty, and other distinguished guests. I really appreciate this invitation to be here to celebrate new beginnings with the Borders, Trade, and Immigration ribbon-cutting ceremony. I must say, I have to thank the Karen Stokes dance team. I'm pretty left-brained, but I don't know about you, but I saw every mode of transportation in that dance. So they helped me kind of tap into that right brain side. So again, applause to you for very, very interesting interpretive dance. So I'm here with Customs and Border Protection representing the T in the BTI, the trade. And 21st century trade brings with it many challenges and problems that take us into uncharted territories. Things like e-commerce. You may not think of it as such, you know, the internet's been around a while, but e-commerce for us on the trade side of the house brings with us enormous challenges as that growth in that particular sector is just burgeoning. It brings its own interesting set of issues that we are now trying to tackle. Complex trade agreements, forced labor issues. So all of those, you know, we're looking forward to working with the BTI in cultivating and equipping the next generation of trade practitioners and leaders. So again, congratulations to you, University of Houston, for having the vision to answer the call to partner with DHS to address borders, trade, and immigration challenges of the day and of the future. Thank you.
Mr. Andrew Schrammweber is the Associate Chief of Law Enforcement Operations Directorate at the U.S. Border Patrol Headquarters in Washington, D.C., and I would invite him to give a few comments.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, President Couture and esteemed colleagues. On behalf of the U.S. Border Patrol and Rio Grande Valley Sector Chief Patrol Agent Manuel Padilla, Jr., it is an honor and privilege to be here with you today. And what a great day it is for the city of Houston and for the country as we officially cut the ribbon on the Borders, Trade, and Immigration Institute, a Department of Homeland Security Center of Excellence. This partnership of researchers, scientists, and experienced subject matter experts who will develop innovative solutions associated with facilitating the lawful transnational flows of people, goods, data, and financial capital is truly an endeavor that embraces the objectives at U.S. Customs and Border Protection and will certainly benefit my duties and the work of my counterparts at and between the ports of entry. The work that you will do here is important to the security of our nation and our economy. Creating a center of excellence where some of the nation's best and brightest are collaborating on such important issues underscores the importance of securing these transnational flows in a global society. As a BTI customer and partner, I look forward to the solutions that we will develop to facilitate legitimate trade and travel while protecting the integrity of our immigration system, as well as ensuring that our borders remain secure. When you consider that on a typical day, CBP processes more than 1 million passengers and pedestrians, as well as processes more than $6.3 billion worth of imported goods, it becomes clear how essential the BTI Institute can be to the Homeland Security community. And when you further consider that on a typical day, we are making more than 1,100 apprehensions between the ports of entry and seizing hundreds of thousands of dollars in illicit currency coming into the country, we can see the value of creating the BTI Institute, whose stated mission is to develop innovative solutions to facilitate legitimate trade and travel. But these statistics serve to illustrate that the efforts of my colleagues and I in the Homeland Security community undertake on the front lines. These statistics represent just a fraction of the activities associated with the transnational flow of people, goods, data, and financial capital. And I want to reiterate that the work that will occur here is important and will have an impact. In closing, I want to be among the first to welcome the BTI Institute members to the Homeland Security team, and I look forward to working with you to achieve our common goals. Thank you.
Mr. Louis Guthrie is Chief, Alabama Coushatta Tribal Police Department. Would invite him to give some comments.
I want to say thanks for inviting us out here. We were one of the first to give a letter of support. And I want everybody to listen to me carefully. The collective psyche of the Native Americans across the country understands borders, immigration, and trade. You hear what I said? They understand it. The Alabama Coushatta Tribal Nation started over in the Mobile Bay area. Because of French movement, they moved into Texas. It took them a while, and once they crossed that Louisiana border, they said, "Thank God Almighty, I am here in heaven," and they stayed. The Alabama Coushattas are also proud to have served alongside of Sam Houston, Maribel Lamar, and we are grateful to be part of this. And I want to give a special thanks to Welcome Wilson Sr. He is always at the heart of all good things in the area. And my buddy Ivan Sanchez, good to see you too. Thanks again. We are behind this 110%. We want everybody to get behind it. Use the researchers, the facilities, the educators. Thanks to the students. If anybody has any questions about anything the Alabama Coushatta Nation does, Councilman Johnny Stafford is in the back, and he'll be glad to answer your questions. Thank you again.
Mr. Jose Francisco, or Joe Frank Martinez, if you would please come up and give some remarks. He is the sheriff of Valverde County, Texas, as well as the chairman of the Southwest Border States Sheriff Coalition.
Thank you. To the staff of the University of Houston, I want to thank you. It is an honor to be here today, have the opportunity to serve on the Borders, Trade, and Immigration Institute program. I am pleased that Kevin Clements reached out to the Southwestern Border Sheriffs Coalition, to myself, to establish this partnership. As a Border Sheriff, I personally feel that the Border Sheriffs Coalition have a lot to offer this research program. The Southwestern Border Sheriffs Coalition, which includes the states of California, Arizona, Texas, combined for a total of 1,989 miles of border between the United States and the Republic of Mexico. Within that 1,989 miles of border from San Diego, California to Brownsville, Texas, lie 31 counties, and each county has its own unique needs. Each and every sheriff is affected directly in one way or another by what happens on the border. Sheriffs have ownership of the communities they serve and understand how the local needs interrelate from law enforcement, economic, social, health, and environment perspective. Hopefully, by sharing our knowledge and information with BTI, this will provide a better understanding for our future. Thank you once again.
Mr. Bradley Etter is the Chief Intelligence Officer for Homeland Security Investigations.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Special Agent in Charge for Homeland Security Investigations, Mark Dawson, here in Houston, Texas, I just want to thank you. It is a privilege to be here today. As a member of this community and as also a member of the Homeland Security family, it is an important endeavor to begin to work with the academic community and the community as a whole to address the challenges that we face. Similar to DHS, BTI's mission is to secure our nation and our borders by looking at those individuals and organizations that are exploiting our system, but yet ensuring also the free flow of our economy and also looking at our trade system. My first exposure to BTI was a visit that they took to our office where they discussed their work on human trafficking. And I think all of us know what an important issue this is. And immediately we, as an office, we began to understand how, as an organization, ICE, HSI, DHS in general, we cannot do this by ourselves. We are only as strong as those that are working to address the issues. And that is why I know, and I am sure, that moving forward, that we will have a strong partnership and that together we can address the challenges that lay ahead of us. Those challenges are ever changing, whether it's challenges in technology that we are looking to develop or challenges against those individuals that are exploiting our systems, exploiting the vulnerabilities. I am sure that today is just the beginning of a new chapter. And for those students that are out there, for those that are conducting research that may think, how can I help? How can I be a part of the solution? Today, you're a part of the solution. But once you graduate, and I have to say this, we're always looking for new and energetic students to come join us. And the reason for that is you bring an environment and a way of thinking that quite often is not seen within the government, within the investigative side of the house. And that is what we need to effectively address the issues and those individuals that are exploiting our system. In conclusion, we are extremely excited about this opportunity. And again, as a member of this community, I know that this institute will secure our nation's borders and will help with the free flow of our commerce. Thank you very much.
So at this time, I'm going to turn over the program to my colleagues for the ribbon-cutting ceremony, but before I do so, I'd like to again reiterate how grateful we are for all the enthusiastic support that all of you have shown. There are many folks in this room that we haven't been able to recognize individually, from the mayor's office, from many aspects of our collegial partners. So again, thank you very much, and I turn over the program to Jonas. Next steps.
So I would like to invite all our speakers to join us in the stage while we are cutting the ribbon. Unfortunately, President Couture is not here, but on her behalf, Dr. Oettinger and I will be cutting the ribbon. Please join us. And I would like to invite also our federal partners to join us. Justin, if you could please. John. Dr. Krishnamurti and Dr. Clark, if you will be so kind to join us, please. And Dan, in representing Faculty Senate, please. I guess we're looking for the scissors. Wait for a minute. Scissors must be somewhere around here. Oh, they are here.
They're right there by your podium.
Ah, okay. I found the scissors.